Hey everyone, it's Matthew Griffin, better known as the Fanatical Futurist. It's that time of the week again. Frankly, any time of the week will do for me. That's it. And I'm going to be taking you through this week's future news. So this is the news basically that will actually shape the next potentially 50 years and beyond, actually. So you can find this on the Fanatical Futurist website. So if you have a look at basically in the news today, basically you'll actually see that US researchers from Carnegie Mellon have actually managed to beam solar power from space. Now, when we actually have a look at the future of space-based solar power stations, the Chinese want to build a 6 gigawatt solar power station in space, and the UK government recently invested around £16 billion in this particular endeavour here. Now, NASA, on another sort of news front, basically have just managed to complete space-to-Earth communications tests, which now push their communication systems to beyond 200 gigasecond, which for NASA, that's a really big deal. That's it, especially when we start exploring the rest of the universe. We've got Anthropic's Claude. So while we talk about guardrails for things like ChatGPT, Google Bard, these big language models that we're seeing everywhere at the moment, Anthropic have decided to actually give their artificial intelligence called Claude the equivalent of an ethics-led conscience. So rather than telling it what not to spam us all with, it kind of decides for itself based on a constitution of 10 things that they don't really tell us what they actually are. But anyway, interesting. We've got new gel-based sensors that can tell you that your wounds are getting infected and then send people an email like your doctor. We've got Anthropic's Claude again. So Claude can now read a book in under a minute. But then if you actually edit that book, it can actually find what you've edited in under a minute as well. Now, in the world of large language models, this is actually quite big. So that's sort of worth a bit of a check out. This is just a nuts story. So Mr. Mankind, you can't make his name up, was a NFT generative AI art dealer. And as he saw more people using AI to create art, the cost of his artwork started declining, and increasingly very few people started looking at his website any longer. So he took $69, he went to ChatGPT, asked ChatGPT to help him create something called a meme coin, which is, you can think of like meme coins like a cryptocurrency like Dogecoin and everything else. And it came up with the strategy, it helped him actually code the coin, it came up with a marketing strategy. Mid-Journey actually came up with the logo for it. He went to Twitter basically for the name, etc., etc. Came up with a meme coin called TurboToad. Now, why this is actually important and weird and interesting is because he took that $69 and 2 weeks later, TurboToad had a market capitalization of $250 million. Which meant that if he'd been able to actually cash that money out, and if he had cashed that money out, because of the way that he'd actually done all the splits, he could have actually taken about 30 million out of the coin. So AI making a company, and that company going to $250 million in valuation basically in 2 weeks' time, this is the future. We've got the UK's Royal Navy that's going to be taking delivery of its first fully autonomous minesweeper soon from companies like Thales. We've got China's Mach 30 hypersonic wind tunnel. It's the fastest wind tunnel on Earth. They're using it to create hypersonic missiles, hypersonic weapon systems, hypersonic aircraft, and so on and so forth. The data that is then gathered from this hypersonic wind tunnel is then actually churned into an artificial intelligence that then, and you can't make this stuff up, helps them design better hypersonic weapons. And then in addition to that, basically, as we sort of worry about artificial intelligence taking all of our jobs, so we worry increasingly about artificial intelligence becoming more intelligent, researchers over in the US at the University of Pennsylvania have been conducting studies on the impact of increased carbon dioxide levels on the human brain. And basically what they found out is that as carbon dioxide levels increase, human cognition gets worse, and frankly, we get stupider. Now, that actually means that as artificial intelligence gets more intelligent, we actually have a double whammy in the future as a human society because we're getting stupider. So yeah, go and put that one in your thought box and everything else. Anyway, I hope you like this this week's dose of future news. If you want to know more, you can either go to 311institute.com, you can go to FanaticalFuturist.com, which is what this site here is. And I look forward to talking to you again soon. Let me know what you think in the comments and everything else. Like, subscribe, all that kind of jazz. And goodbye for now. Take care. Bye. Goodbye.